What will we do with this moment? How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Do you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Everybody they know, they gonna vote for Donald Trump, that's the way it goes. All over America, all over the USA, they voted for Donald Trump, that's what I'm trying to say. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over, everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. I want to make America great again. Woo! I want to lower the taxes. I want to bring all American business back from overseas back to the USA, baby.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over. Everybody can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country. Election is over. Everyone can see. Donald Trump is now the president of your country.
He's called me venomous.
We will fight back to your attempt to bring Trumpism to New York City.
He's called me disgraceful.
Of the fact that they stole the Supreme Court seat. An illegitimate president and an illegitimate member of the United States Supreme Court.
He's called me radical.
Listen, yes. We know he's crazy. Yes. We know he doesn't have a sound mind. Yes. We know he's out of control. Yes. We know he's losing it. Yes. We know his days are numbered and we will come together.
He's called me a racist.
We've got to stand up to an administration which is too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale. Too male, too pale, and too stale.
Thank you.
It's 400.
So in case you haven't heard, there's a whole lot to talk about today, starting with this nutbag in New York City. You see, today, despite everything that's been going on, despite win after win, despite the roller coaster that Trump is on, there's a few people up in, New York and Georgia who are ready to fall on the sword. I'm not really sure what's motivating them or who's motivating them or what they're being told to do, by whom, how much they're being paid. I don't know all this. But for some reason, these three people, these three black people, Letitia James, Fani Willis, and Alvin Bragg, seem hell-bent on destroying every shred of their career in order to try and get Trump. Still getting over that cold, but I just want you to know that. This is really, really crazy, absolutely insane, that they have thrown themselves in the path of this oncoming train, and they don't seem to care. They think, it'll be okay. Good luck with that. Check this out.
$70 million civil fraud judgment against President-elect Donald Trump. Joining us now with more is MSNBC's Lisa Rubin. Lisa, good morning. What does this mean?
Good morning, Jose. President Trump's lawyers are trying to get the New York Attorney General to set aside that case. But as they said in their letter today, they're refusing to do so because that case, which was a civil litigation, is primarily and almost exclusively about his pre-presidential conduct and running the Trump Organization. And as they say in their letter, there are over a dozen other defendants who are part of that $450 million plus civil fraud judgment. I want to point out also that this is part of their strategy to sort of extend the presidential immunity argument from the opinion over the weekend. You can see them do that with the New York DA's office as well. That office's brief in response to a motion to dismiss the New York hush money case, where there is also a verdict, is expected later today. We should expect to see them also fight back against the idea that the judgment has to be thrown out merely because Trump is going to be president again.
It's nuts. It's absolutely insane. So I got a lot of stuff to show you. I got some video, but mostly we're going to have like the old Rush Limbaugh thing, the stack of stuff. I got to go through a whole bunch of stuff to talk to you guys about because, like I said, I don't know who's motivating these people to do this, but it seems as though they're using these three stooges, and that's basically what they are, to do some dirty work. And like you saw in my lower third there, they just don't learn. They're not learning anything from what happened on November 5th. They are still moving forward as if there's some fight they need to keep going. I find it, in my mind, incredulous, knowing full well that Kash Patel is coming in and Pam Bondi's coming in, and you're willing to stand up in front of this locomotive coming at you. This Trump, this mega locomotive, you want to stand up and you think you're going to be woman or man enough to stop this? You got another thing coming. So here's what was posted today. Breaking. New York Attorney General Letitia James will ignore Trump's presidential immunity and continue her effort to make him pay a $500 million civil fraud judgment. The ordinary burdens of civil litigation do not impede the president's official duties in any way that violates the U.S. Constitution. The New York Appeals Court spanked her prosecutors during the oral argument so bad that at the end they weren't trying to defend a verdict, but were trying to avoid sanctions on them. That judgment will be overturned. Everybody, and I'm not a lawyer, but all the legal scholars out there have already stated this has no chance. Now, to refresh your mind and your memory to understand which case this is the one with the old crinkly judge who said that Mar-a-Lago was only worth $18 million, and therefore Trump somehow defrauded the banks who gave him loans that he paid back, that they continue to do business. This was the one where there's no victims. If I owe you money and I pay you back and you continue to loan me money to buy more property, pretty much that's probably indicative of the fact that you didn't feel like you've been ripped off or defrauded. But no, Letitia James said, you're too stupid to know you've been defrauded. This guy put up this property as collateral, and he told you it was worth like $400 or $500 million, but it's only worth 18. And so you were defrauded. And she just kept going, and she kept going, and she kept going, and she got her, judgment. Now, this is a civil case, not criminal. And yes, it is a state case, not federal. So there's nothing to think of in terms of a pardon coming up here. There is no pardon. This is a civil case in New York State. But it has no merit and will obviously be overturned on appeal. And she and her cohorts are probably going to be sanctioned. So you have to ask yourself, why would you do that? Why now, in December, a month before he's about to take office? Why would you put yourself in this position to be completely embarrassed? I don't have the answer. Maybe you guys have the answer. I don't have the answer. Perhaps the only thing she's doing is what she's told. Somebody has probably said to her, get out there, do this, and keep going. It's going to be amazing because she's going to find herself in a position where she's going to have to answer to Trump and probably Kash Patel and probably Pam Bondi. You see, we understand from looking that Letitia James has a worth, based on different sources, of about $20 million. It's not going to take an amazing prosecutor or prosecutorial team to start digging and finding out how in the hell did someone who is an attorney general who makes, I don't know, maybe 150, 200, amass a fortune of 15 to 20 million in such a short period of time. Maybe she's trying to do some sort of cloak and dagger. Maybe she's trying to avoid that, and so that when they do come after her, she can say, oh, it was malicious prosecution. They're mad because I was going after Trump. Either way, it doesn't make any sense. So let me continue with the it doesn't make any sense stuff as we move on to the next one. The next one here is Fulton County with Fani Willis. Fani is being bent over the arm of a chair, and her bare fanny has been spanked over and over and over. And Fani won't stop. She keeps ignoring the court orders. Why? Why? 2 black women, 1 black man. We're going to get to the black man in a second. But now here's your second person, Fani Willis. Big trouble. Big trouble. Fani Willis, at this point, I don't know how she keeps her license. Breaking news. Fulton County Superior Court has issued a default judgment against District Attorney Fani Willis for refusing to turn over records that could document her collusion with the January 6th committee and special counsel Jack Smith. So just to refresh your memory on this one, people found out there was some contact between the White House with her lover boy. He went up there a few times. They paid him all kinds of millions of dollars. And then there were some conversations between, Jack Smith and her. And one had nothing to do with the other. Why would she and her paramour be visiting the White House? For what reason would they have to be meeting and talking with Jack Smith? Their cases are unrelated. And people started digging. So the Superior Court said, hey, listen, we need some documentation. I need to see your notes. This is really, really important. The court order states, quote, by finding the defendant in default because she didn't follow the order, the court has effectively declared that she violated the ORA Open Records Act. The court further orders the defendant to conduct a, quote, thorough search of her records for responsive materials within 5 days of this order's entry. So by basically next Monday, she got to cough it up. Let's continue. Within the same 5-day period, The defendant is also ordered to provide the plaintiff, Trump's people, with copies of all responsive records that are not legally exempt or accepted from disclosure. If the defendant must or chooses to withhold any portion of a requested record, she is instructed to adhere to the procedures outlined in the ORA. Again, ORA, just for you guys to go back, is the Open Records Act. So what is happening now is the court said, hey, okay, we gave you a shot. We told you we want these documents. She defied the subpoena. Nope, not going to give them to you. Here's a Heisman. Hey, Jim Jordan wants them. Nope, you can't have them either. You realize you're a local state prosecutor, attorney in Georgia, and you've got the Superior Court and you've got Congress going, you need to show us what you have. Show us your cards. Fani don't want to do it. Fani thinks she's Fani. You ain't telling me what to do. Oh, okay. However, the Fulton County DA claims that such records don't exist, potentially putting her at legal risk of perjury and obstruction of justice. All right, now this is where it starts getting good. What do you mean the records don't exist? They used to. So if they used to exist, how do they no longer exist? You're going to have to bridge this for us, Fani. How did they used to, and now how do they not? Something happened here. The dog eat it? You just lost them? So you're that incompetent. You want the court to believe that you, as a Fulton County District Attorney, can't figure out what happened to these documents? Is that what you're really saying? Think hard about what you're saying. Because now they got her in a trap. They got her in a big, giant bear trap, and it's closing hard. Because at this point, your answer is you're incompetent or you're lying. There's no middle ground. And if you're incompetent, then yeah, the whole case goes away. And if you're lying, the case goes away and you get new handcuffs. The new jewelry will be yours. Let's finish this up. The court makes it clear that it has substantive reason to believe Willis is withholding the records. Defendant, and this is a quote from the order that you're seeing here, the defendant is further ordered to provide an explanation why such correspondence does not exist if she doesn't have it, or why it is being withheld. However, this is the catch-22, if Willis does turn over those records, it could provide proof of a criminal conspiracy. So you're Fani Willis right now, and you're looking at the Trump train too, just like Letitia, and you're sitting behind the wheel of a Yugo, maybe even just a golf cart, and this train is coming at you. And the Superior Court of the state where you are licensed has said, give up the goods right now, and if you don't have the goods, you need to let us know why, and it better be a good reason. Think before you talk, Fani. The next words that come out of your mouth are going to determine your life path. That's what they're telling her, in no uncertain terms. Defendant is ordered to provide an explanation why such correspondence does not exist, is that what she says, in the defendant's records, or why it is being withheld. And if she does turn over the records, it could provide proof of a criminal conspiracy. So you're looking at, okay, if I do this, they're going to tell me or may charge me with criminal conspiracy. If I do this, they may say I'm incompetent and just fire me. Or maybe charge me with perjury. Oh, I feel like I'm on Price is Right here. Or maybe on, Wheel of Fortune. Can I buy a letter? Or maybe that other show. Can I call someone for a lifeline? Not. No, you're standing in front of this train called the Trump train. And right now, it's coming at you full speed. You deserve everything that you're about to get. So the only question I'm posing to you, the audience here, you guys, fanfare audience, is why would these two women put themselves in the path of this train? You're being threatened. Letitia hasn't been threatened with any criminal stuff yet. She's just looked at as you're a moron. You're just going to implode your career. Fani, on the other hand, you're looking at criminal stuff happening. How bad must it be? What must be in this document dump? Which I'm pretty sure some other people have as well. A good attorney never asks you the question without knowing the answer in advance. So you have to wonder, who's sitting on some documents just waiting to see which way she moves? You go over to door number 1 and say you can't find them, then you're just going to probably lose your job and get perjury, because we got them already. We've already seen them. Just to let you guys know, if you do anything electronic, email, whatever, it's somewhere. You can hit delete, you can hit shred, it's somewhere. Someone has a copy or the ability to pull up this document. She's too stupid to realize this. Or maybe that's why she hasn't done it, because she does know somebody has a copy. But in any event, the only question that remains is, why are the two of these women staring this down and are willing to be run the F over? What is being held over their heads? I mean, both of them, they're not older people. I mean, you can see Fani Willis, she's not an old woman. So something in their past, something that they've been bribed with, something that they've been threatened, is telling them, don't turn over these documents. Nope. And it's not about them, probably. You got any family, Fani? Because maybe you got some family that might take the dirt nap. So you're playing with some people that maybe you shouldn't have got into the sandbox with. These are people who are ready to push you in front of the train. They're looking at the tracks and going, here you go, Fani. You're on your own, girl. Don't even think. Don't even think about blabbing. Oh, no. Because those deep state people who you got in bed with, sorry. As Chuck Schumer said, deep state has 7 ways from Sunday taking you out. And you're not Trump. So, all y'all can pray for Fani, because she gonna need some prayers. And Letitia, you're about to get there too. Then you get to Alvin Bragg, Curly of the bunch here, of the Three Stooges. Alvin Bragg. Alvin Bragg is still suggesting that the court may want to simply extend, quote, temporary accommodations during Trump's term of office. It would leave Trump a type of legal suspended animation for 4 years. From today's filing, at most, the defendant should receive temporary accommodations during his presidency to prevent this criminal case from meaningfully interfering with his official decision-making. Okay, so understand what he's saying here. All right, so we know that we can't do anything right now because he's president. Right. So what we want to do is hold these cases for the next 4 years, and then when he's out of office at 82, then we'll go get him. I've heard some stupid people before, but this takes the case. So you want the American people, you want the world to think you're just going to pump the brakes and pause this entire prosecution of this, hush money case. This is the other case now. This is the case with Stormy and Michael Cohen and Judge Merchan, and, it's hard to keep up with them. But Curly here, Curly Bragg of the Three Stooges, decides he don't want to stop either. And every legal mind is like, what in the hell are you thinking? And what I find most interesting on here, December 10th, for those of you who are watching on the replay, it's Tuesday, December 10th. All this happened today. Today. Letitia James announces today, I'm still going to go after Trump. Fani Willis, the court says, you need to turn over these documents about Trump and whatever you were discussing. And then Alvin Bragg files today, we're just going to hold off until he's out of jail. Out of presidency. Then we'll throw his ass in jail. And I just showed you Jonathan Turley. You got people going, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Why these three stooges? And I do want to point out these three black stooges. I'm not being racial. I'm pointing out that somebody picked these inefficient stool pigeons and stuck them in a position right now where they can't extricate themselves for some reason. They took advantage of these three people, whether it was monetarily, whether it was a threat, but you can see the incompetence is run amok. Just, was it yesterday? The whole Daniel Penny case, which Alvin Bragg was the one prosecuting, got destroyed. This guy is Curly from the Three Stooges. And the other two are Larry and Moe. And it just makes absolutely no sense. So Barry, how are you going to tie this together? I'm not. I'm bringing this to you as the news of the day because the hits just keep coming for the left. And as I put on the lower third of my screen, somewhere, somebody still, over a month later, they have found no way to move forward. Everything they're doing is relying on the stuff that already hasn't worked. Letitia James, it didn't work, honey. Nothing happened. Alvin Bragg, it didn't work. He still got elected. Fani Willis, nah, sorry. You're the only one looking at handcuffs. They're living in the past. They have no leadership. And Trump's, in 20 days, 30 days, he's going to be in office. Do you really think, Alvin Bragg, that the President of the United States on January 21st is going to pay any attention to what you and Judge Merchant are up to? Or do you think what he'll probably do is sick the dogs on you? I mean, I understand people have said, he doesn't want to, he's not going to go after his political opponents. Oh, no, this one's different. This is, you want to fight? You want to fight? You got one. You're coming after Trump and telling him after he's done being a president, you want to put his ass in jail. Okay, you're going to get the full arm weight of this locomotive coming down your throat and out your rear end. And by the time they're done with you, you won't be able to get a job as an attorney with, I don't want to say it because I was going to say something nasty, but you understand. You're done. Fani Willis, you're done. Letitia James, you're done. This doesn't bode well for the Democrats whatsoever, and I can't figure out what the hell they're thinking. Maybe you guys can. Kash Patel will show up unannounced. Yeah, knock, knock, knock. Hey, let's see your tax returns, Letitia. Oh, you're picking on me because I'm a black woman and I went after Trump and he's too pale, he's too stale. Ain't gonna work, girl. You're gonna have to cough up the information. Talk about bankrupting somebody. When they talk about how these legal cases could bankrupt some people, they're talking about people with lots of money. Not somebody who was, 10 or 15 million. They're gonna eat that up like that. I mean, that's gonna be gone. You ain't getting nothing. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see how they put you in a shredder. Yeah, that train is coming, for sure. Someone has electronic documents. Absolutely they do. Maybe they want to do this to keep the AG off the others. This is easy. I mean, with the level of attorneys he has, and and now with the what would I call it? Political currency, the political capital that this man has. As a let me just explain this. As a candidate, Trump was running and they thought they could take, do different things and slow him down and everything. Now you've got people Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. The mayor of New York who's debating whether or not he should flip and become a Republican. You don't think Eric Adams knows some dirt on Letitia James? I mean, they work in the same city. You don't think he'd be, hey Donnie, yeah, well, here's what's going on with her. And here's what she... It's all different now. This isn't a candidate trying to get elected and people thought he was kryptonite. Now it's like he's a president and he won in a landslide and people are putting their arms around him, including Democrats. So these people out there on the ledge, the Three Stooges, are out there by themselves. There's no support. Why? Because everybody else is trying to figure out if they got a boat on, a seat in the lifeboat. Like, hey, Fani, I can't help you, girl. No, I got to worry about my own butt. Good luck with that. Can't trust Eric Adams. I don't think you have to trust him. You can listen to him. I've done business with people I didn't trust, but I listened to them. We had a deal. We got it done. Shook hands. Walked away. I wouldn't tell them any secrets. That's how it'll be with Eric Adams. So hey, what do you got to offer me? I understand you got a problem in New York. Remember, Eric Adams was indicted by Merrick Garland. That indictment's still there. Guess who can make that indictment go away? I'll let you think about that for a couple seconds. Oh, you know now, huh? The person who can make that indictment go away is Pam Bondi. That's called having hand. So I don't need to trust you. I just need to know what you're going to give me. I know you need this thing to go away. I know we're not talking quid pro quo. We're not going to do all that. But if you turn and give me some evidence, that's completely legal. We can give you immunity. Tell me about Letitia and Judge Merchant. What do you know about them? You live up here. Like Trump doesn't already know. Obama and Biden set them up. Yep. I bet you did. I think what we're seeing a lot of are people who didn't believe this guy was going to win. And they decided for their pieces of silver that they were going to jump in and do whatever they needed to do to take down Trump. He too stale, he too pale, all the crap that they were talking. And then he woke up on November 5th and went, oh my God. What do we do? It's your worst nightmare. It's your worst nightmare. You got hand, and you're gonna need them. Oh yeah, everybody wants to live one more day, Barry. Yeah, they're gonna have to come in off the cliff on that one. Oh boy, I'm buying stock in handcuffs, and that was one of the things I saw. It's happening everywhere. I mean, just imagine you're Kash Patel or Pam Bondi. At this point, I'm like, where do we start, man? where do we go here? There's so much. There's so much crap. I don't know what to do. All right, well, let's pick off the easy ones first. Fani and Alvin and Judge Merchant. Oh, by your daughter and that $90 million. We're going to have to talk about that. And Letitia. Notice what Kathy Hochul was doing in New York yesterday. Hey, I'd like to give you guys all a stimulus for like $600 for Christmas. Everybody gets some. These people are panicking. Absolute panic is going on right now. And I don't blame them. And I don't think Dementia Joe has enough arm strength to write all these pardons, which we're going to talk about. So, then Trump decides to do something else. After all this stuff today, let me show you something Trump. And when you see these things, it's so simple. You say to yourself, why didn't Biden do this? Remember, I told you many times in my videos, the reason why I think the Democrats won't win for quite some time is because as things get better, said it again, even the people who voted against him are going to experience the happiness. Talk about spreading joy, not having to pay taxes on overtime, joy. Not having to pay taxes on tips, that's more joy. Not having paid taxes on Social Security, none of this stuff is just MAGA only. You could hate my guts and you're going to feel it. You're going to love it. There's nothing you're going to like, oh my God, he did it. He absolutely did it. Well, he posted something, and then Elon posted the post. Elon says, this is awesome. Trump posted this. Any person or company investing $1 billion or more in the United States of America will receive fully expedited approvals and permits, including, but in no way limited to, all environmental approvals. Get ready to rock. I'm going to leave that up because I just want you to let that sink in. He just wrote an invitation to every person, company in the world and said, you put billions here, we're going to make it good for you. Bring your billions. We're going to do everything we can to help you make more. We're going to expedite permits and approvals, including environmental stuff. You want to build that big plant over there? We're going to get it done for you. Bring it. I am pro-business. I am going to help every business out there make more money. Like I said, you don't have to like him, but you're going to benefit from him. You know right now there are businessmen and corporations that are like, oh man, I hate this guy's guts. This guy's a piece of crap, man. I hate him. But wow, we've been wanting to open that plant in like Idaho forever. What do we do? Call him. Call him. This is going to get to a point where people can't not do business in America. This is going to stimulate the economy in ways they never thought. If you've ever met a billionaire, you know the one thing billionaires like more than ever is how to make more billions. It becomes part of their personality. How can I make more money? And so when you have someone who's saying, and let me just break this down as well. If you're going to spend $1 billion, I'm going to make sure you have expedited approvals and permits. Let me just stop there. You don't even have to be a billionaire. You would not believe the permitting process for doing something here in Boca or Fort Lauderdale. Hey, listen, I'd like to expand my house and put a wing over here and you know, add a story and do some different things. Okay, well now you're gonna have to get the plans put together. We're gonna have to do some, you know, environmental, make sure the squirrels are okay. And oh, by the way, you might have some turtles on the property. You got to make sure they got someplace. Quick story, true story. When my mom passed, rest in peace. When my mom passed a few years ago, she had some land here in Cape Coral, which is on the west side of the peninsula, on the west side over there. Tampa side, but south. And it was a nice lot, not too far from the water. She just never built on it. She just loved Connecticut and stayed up there, and it was a vacant lot. And then when she passed, obviously the kids, we decided, hey, what do you want to do with this? Hey, you're in real estate, you want to build something? No, I don't feel like building. Now I kick myself and say, I wish I had that lot back. But in any event, me and my sisters got together and said, all right, let's sell it. So I'm here in South Florida. You got to go over there and take a look at it. Me and Midas get in the car. We drive over, take a look at this lot. Dirt. Some weeds, grass, but it's dirt. So I go to town hall and I'm like, hey, listen, we're going to sell this, okay? Yep, no problem, good. So I contact a realtor over there who I know and say, hey, listen, let's go ahead and sell this thing. She goes, I'll have an offer for you in an hour. And I've told you many times, if you get an offer and you accept the first offer, it means someone beat you. And I'm like, no, don't give it to me in an hour. Give me 4 or 5 so I can begin negotiating. So anyway, I take the best offer. The guy has this clause in his offer. The highest price, but he had a clause. Subject to the approval of, I think it was the game warden or whatever it was. I'm like, why would you ever put something like that in a contract? Oh, because you had to make sure that you had no turtle nest or spotty owl nest in the trees. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. You're telling me I can't sell this property to a developer if there's turtle nest or spotty owl nest up there. Is that what you're telling me? Yeah. So we had to go all the way back over there, and we had to bring the guy out, and he put on his big boots, and he walked through, and he poked, and he goes, oh, you got no turtles, so you're good. Okay, now let's check the trees for, nest. And you go, oh, there's one, and he crawls, oh, it's dormant, so you're good. If those two things had shown up on that property, we could not have sold it. Well, that night I might have found a way to get rid of those turtles' nests and something in the trees. But anyway, I digress. I could not have sold that property if those things were present. So what Trump is saying is, we're going to expedite all that. You want to build a 300,000 square foot, a 1,000,000 square foot plant, and you need like power out to wazoo and a water treatment and blah, blah, blah. We're going to expedite that. What other country is going to do that for you? Not Canada. Oh no, not with Justin Trudeau up there. He ain't going to expedite and help you with environmentals. Nope, ain't going to happen. Mexico? Then you got to deal with the cartels, which I'm going to tell you about here in a second. So he's just told the world, we're open for business. We are open for business. We want your business. Bring it here. Show us the money. Show me the money. That is huge, huge for America. And it's going to be huge for you. Let me tell you why it's going to be huge for you. The more revenue he can show and bring in, the more taxes he's going to be able to cut. The more he can, get away from all the litigious regulations that Biden and so many of the Democrats have put in place, the more money it's going to be for you. Your taxes will get lowered. You won't need them. There's so much federal land. Everybody kept saying, what are we going to do with all this federal land? Well, he just told you. He just told you with great emphasis. That last line there. Get ready to rock. I've never heard, well, I have. I was going to say I haven't heard a businessman say something like that, but this guy's the president. And the president of the United States just said, get ready to rock. So you better get ready to rock. All of you. And right off the bat, you can see what Elon's like, this is awesome. And he puts a rocket ship to it next to the flag. Well, if you're Elon Musk and you wanted to build a, Tesla plant, hey, I know there's some people in that state that need work. Oh, yeah. This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I mean, I hope you guys feel the same way. Patty DeWeaver's like, this is going to be epic. Yeah. Somebody said about Letitia, the Three Stooges, they're waiting, hoping that their pardons get granted. Good luck. Imagine getting a pardon and being broke. Imagine getting a pardon and never being able to do any work again. See, that's another thing about these pardons people don't realize. If you take the pardon, I doubt they're going to keep you as the district attorney. Good luck with that. There's not many companies out there who can throw around billions to take advantage of this. You sure about that? Are you really sure about that? I thank you for your comment because it exposes something. It exposes a little bit of naivety and also a little bit of lack of finance. You see, first of all, there are a lot of companies who can take advantage of that. Because now the second part of that is, okay, let me just go back and tell you the second part of that. And I think you might have missed it. Any person or company investing $1 billion. Okay, so the part that you may have missed with your comment there. Did you ever buy a car? No BS. Did you buy a car? Did you pay cash for that car? More than likely you didn't. Do you buy a house? Did you pay cash for that house? More than likely you didn't. So if you have a business and you have a plan and you go to the bank or investors, have you ever raised money? And you say, hey, listen, I have an idea. I think I could build a 100,000 square foot plant here and I can increase my business right now, but I'm going to need probably $1.5 billion to do it. And then those other people with all this money are going to look at your plan and they're going to say, well, Barry, this makes sense. We'd be willing to take a flyer on you. Here's what we're going to do. You need $1.5 billion. How much you got to put up? Well, I've got $500,000. All right. So we'll come up with 900,000. Maybe, let me back it in 1.5. We'll come up with 50 million. So now you got 50 million committed to your project. Now you go to a bank and say, hey, listen, would you guys lend me the rest of this? Well, hey, Barry, I understand you got some prominent people working with you. This looks good. It could be a moneymaker. I like how your plan looks. But before we would give you the money, we need to know that you're going to be able to get the approvals and licensing to build your plant. And we're going to have to make sure that there's no environmental problems, because we don't want to be sitting here if the EPA comes in, boom. That's where that comes in. You have to understand the entirety of the business transaction. We're going to expedite your approvals, we're going to expedite your permits, and we're going to make sure you get environmental approvals. Well, Barry, since Mr. Trump is going to basically waive all this stuff, boom, here's the rest of the money you need. Good luck. That's how it works. That's what you're not taking into account. And the math in that, might be off. But there are so many people with lots of money, and there's going to be banks that are looking to put that money on the street. So you may want to get involved in that. You may want to say, listen, maybe it might be time to open a business. I hope I wasn't being too facetious there. You guys understand what I'm saying. These big banks, $1 billion isn't a whole lot of money to them, especially if they can make more money. So we go ahead and we're going to lend you this money, or we're going to take X percentage in capital in stock versus all kinds of ways to do it, because you have the approvals to move forward. There are over $1,200 billion companies. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's lots of money out there, and that's worldwide. Billions. You have no idea how many of these Saudi companies would love to say, hey, listen, we're setting up a finance company in New York. We need to get some billions out there on the street. Oh my God, 3 trillion U.S. taxpayer dollars missing and accounted for. Yeah. Barry, Elon is as smart as a whip. It's about self-preservation. Do you realize Elon is a major proponent of the New World Order, and he wants to build robots to take most of the jobs of humans by 2030? Blah, 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 blah. Don't believe everything in terms of that kind of stuff. People changed. I've gone over many times here what the catalyst was with this guy changing. Do I need to play it again? Because you're still looking over here. You didn't see what he has done. And understand, even if that was true, who's going to build all those robots? Oh, other robots are going to build those other robots. That's what you're probably going to come up with. But that plant, everything about it, you have to understand and dig deeper besides reading the variety section of how this stuff is going to work. I've mentioned many times here, don't be afraid of AI. Learn how to use it. Even if they get the pardons, there are other ways to get them. Yep, absolutely. I want him to put restrictions on sale to communists, though. They bought a lot of U.S. farmlands near military bases. I completely agree with you. Completely agree with you there. Mixed feelings about environmental freedom. Some go overboard, but ask folks in western North Carolina that were downstream of a chemical factory, well water impotable. Certain approvals need to be put in place. But let me ask you about those same people in western North Carolina. You brought up a good point. Very good point. What kind of rebuild is going to be necessary in western North Carolina? My wife's family's up there. I know firsthand what's going to happen up there. How many billions do you think are going to get thrown into the Asheville area, all throughout Appalachia, to rebuild that entire area? Do you know how much money is there to be made? I worked with a guy who owned a construction company way back, and I asked him, I always ask people who make a lot of money, how did you make your money? What did you do? He goes, I had a small construction company up here in South Carolina. We had about 50 people. We built houses once in a while, and we're doing okay. And after Hurricane Andrew happened down here in Homestead, in Florida, he goes, we started getting notices, and people said, can you do this work? Can you do that work? And there was, in addition to having skill, there wasn't enough labor. So he goes, I rented a bus. I brought down like 20 of my guys, and we started renovating properties. And then he got a contract and said, can somebody rebuild this bridge? And he had a GC license, but he didn't have the experience in building bridges. So he contacted a bridge builder up in North Carolina and said, I'll sub this out to you. Let's go ahead and make, and it's history from there. Guy made tens of millions. I know what it takes to rebuild something because I've been in real estate for a long time. Western North Carolina is going to come back. Now, I can't tell you how long, but it will come back. It will come back strong. And the investment in that area will be massive. And why do I know that? Because it's a beautiful area. People love to visit the Smokies. It is prime real estate. And even the people who own the land up there, they're going to have a choice whether they want to rebuild or they want to sell and do whatever they want to do. Right now it's terrible and they're going through a lot of pain. But January 20th, J.D. Vance said, we're coming to help you. We're coming to help you. And I know firsthand that Asheville is an extremely liberal area. Well, at least it was. What's going to happen when they've lived through what they've lived through for the last couple months, and all of a sudden on January 21st, help arrives, and it's from Trump. Absolutely. Now, those of you who can, I know it's Christmas right now, and you may not want to be looking at something like this, but if you can, silver right now is skyrocketing. Gold as a hedge is still for something for you guys to look at, but silver is taking off. Take a listen to this. If you see what's going on in the world right now and what may happen here in America, you may want to prepare and pay attention. You know that Lear Capital is a big supporter of this show. If you want to be protected in the event that things go off the wall, I advise you to look into buying gold and silver. We are all just one catastrophic event away from the value of the American dollar plunging. Do you know what's not plunging? Gold and silver. I'm telling you now, make sure that you have some form of your money invested in precious metals. Lear Capital will ship your gold or your silver coins directly to your house. It's not just a certificate. You can store them in your gun safe, or you can store them off-site in a 24-hour protected facility. It's totally up to you. But when things go crazy here or across the world, the value of the American dollar is going to decline. It's inevitable, and it might not even take a war. We may do it to ourselves. And I mean, if the Federal Reserve plays around with interest rates, the US dollar will likely decline in value as well. Meanwhile, you'll see gold and silver continue to rise in value. If you call Lear Capital, they will take the time to educate you and answer all of your questions about gold and silver. Just give them a call at 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry, that's me, Learberry.com to download your free de-dollarization report. You should know that Lear Capital is an American company. If you call them today, you'll be speaking with people right here in the United States. Now is the time to take action. Call 800-601-5430 or go to Learberry.com. And when you call, ask them how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. There's absolutely no obligation to buy anything. Just free information on protecting your hard-earned dollars with gold and silver. You know, when you think about it, you're actually not buying anything. You're simply going to be exchanging dollars for gold, moving currency. Give them a call today. Tell them Barry sent you. And yes, I am sending you. I'm telling you, if you can afford it, which basically anybody can afford silver. You can't. There's no excuse here saying, "Oh, I can't afford silver." Yes, you can. You can afford silver. Gold a little bit more expensive, $2,700 bucks an ounce. But let me just show you what's going on with silver. And I follow this constantly because I look personally. What am I going to do? Am I going to move here, move there? And lately, silver's been taken off. Check this out. And this isn't a sales pitch. This is me just giving you some information. This is the 30-day movement on silver. You notice something here? When it was flat, this was November 11th. So right after the election, it kind of dipped, and it's been on a tear lately. An absolute tear. Again, if you know how to read these charts, you understand what the trend line is. And you can just basically put a 45-degree angle from here to there, and you can see it's spiking. So it's at 32.61 right now. So at 32, this thing here, where is it? Where's my silver? This silver here is 1 ounce. Okay, so this one thing I have right here in my hand is 1 ounce of silver. So this was 32 right now. Right now, this is worth $33. Let's just call it 33. And the way things are going, this will probably be worth 35 or 36 by end of next week. So anybody can get into gold. Well, maybe not anybody in gold, but anybody can get in silver. Silver is something you can definitely get into, and I'm not looking at that to pitch. I'm looking at that and saying that's a good investment. When I see numbers like this with anything, I'm like, yeah, I need to do something. And obviously, Bitcoin. Whew, people are talking about it. Bitcoin possibly going to $1 million. I mean, so there's so much to look forward with Trump, and I'm not at all going to be any kind of a naysayer because I'm watching the charts and I'm watching the numbers, and I'm like, this guy hasn't even taken office yet. So maybe you might want to do what you can without overextending yourself, because silver is an easy way to get into this type of a market, and it's really not that risky per se, because when you look at something like this, and it's only $32.58 an ounce. Even when it was lower here, let me put it here. Even when it was lower, it was $30 an ounce. You can see I just hovered over it. So in a span of a month, when at its lowest point it was 30, and now it's up to 32. That's a 30 to 32. That's pretty much almost like an 8% gain in less than a month. You making 8% a month right now? You're making 7% a month per month? And if you lose, if it doesn't get 7%, you still got the silver. Understand that. Big difference. All right, so let's move on to some other news. I haven't even got back to my video yet. There's so much going on because I've got that video still I want to play for you, and we're going to talk about that. But this popped up today. Christopher Wray has agreed to resign as the FBI head by Inauguration Day. So all the talk about some of these senators, and they were saying, hey, listen, you shouldn't be able to fire Christopher Wray. Trump ain't even going to have to fire him. Christopher Wray realizes, I'm not going up against this Trump train. I'm walking away. I'm done. I'm not going to do it. You see, so much is happening right now that people who have any sort of a noggin right now are saying, don't try to take this guy on. If Christopher Wray tried to stay as the FBI director and make Trump fire him, he would basically be setting himself up in the crosshairs. And as far as Christopher Wray knows, he's looking around, he's like, I don't have any support. There's nobody behind me. Who's going to help me as I take on this behemoth of MAGA? You see, right now I want you all to understand and I've said it many times about you being the media and everything else. Well, you saw what happened with Joni Ernst. Whatever she was thinking, the heavy hand of MAGA said, not today. Not today, Satan. Approve him. And I believe that's specifically what he saw as well. And he said, I'm out. And then this case came up, which kind of big. The federal judge stops Biden agencies from opening Obamacare to newcomers. You see, these people are looking and they're realizing there's not much good happening for them. Every time they turn, something else is happening. And a prudent person, a smart person, would say, the tide has changed. Like I said in my video, look at the lower third. You haven't learned, but it's obviously different. It's already different. And if you don't feel the difference, you're not really paying attention. We are on the offense. They are on the defense. And they don't have a bench of support to help them. So let's continue with the video so I can prove that to you.
Perhaps Daniel Penny was a bit too aggressive with his chokehold. Perhaps he was. And perhaps in defending himself and others on the train, perhaps he was a bit too aggressive. But putting that man in prison for murder, putting that man in prison for any length of time, for trying to subdue someone with a history of violence. And even though Daniel Penny didn't know that, he has enough life experience on subway trains. He's seen what drug addicts and homeless people and people with mental disorders have done on these subway trains. No way this man should have been convicted. And thank God this jury, which was a diverse jury. They had, I think it had 7 women and 5 men. Some of these people on the jury, I'm pretty sure will have to do the research because this news just got announced in the last 20, 30 minutes. But I'm sure there were some black people on that jury, people of color on that jury. And they all manned up and womaned up and did the right thing.
I wanted to play this. This is from Jason Whitlock. I like a lot of what Jason says. Sometimes he ticks me off too. But what he just said there, and we're going to play some more of this I want to talk to you about, is that you woke up today, maybe you woke up yesterday, thinking, I can't say this or I can't say that. That's not something I can go. I can't go there. I don't want these BLM nuts coming down on me on X or saying something to me in the store. Robin and I, this past weekend, went to a holiday concert here in Boca. And I told you they played Christmas music and they played Hanukkah music. But there were a few custodial black employees. And as Robin, they didn't see me. They just said this to her. Robin, as jovial as she is, she just went and told the people, Merry Christmas. And their response to her was, Happy Kwanzaa, thinking they were going to get a rise out of her. Except she's married to a black man, and she knew exactly how to turn that right around on them. Whatever. You see, no one needs to fear BLM anymore. They have been defanged, completely feckless. They mean nothing. And I do mean nothing. That's not to say that a couple knuckleheads up in New York might not try to do something this weekend. But if you saw their protest yesterday, they had like 100 people. You had 100 people in the biggest city one of the biggest cities in the world. 100 people showed up to march in the street because Daniel Penny got acquitted. 100. It's all gone. They're done. It's fantastic. And this is what Jason is talking about.
Sanity is returning to the United States of America. We are done playing this racial identity game that the left wants us to play. And I'm sorry that it's too late, but perhaps it's not, particularly for the 3 officers that were convicted in the George Floyd fentanyl overdose, the 3 officers not named Derek Chauvin. Those 3 officers need to be released.
Ooh, Jason, you just rolled a hand grenade into the BLM hive. See, he's talking about not just destroying BLM right now, but go back to, Sir George, the patron saint of BLM, and saying, you know what? Let's take a look at that now. Let's see if, we can begin digging into this hornet's nest and find out what really happened. Since we're going to right some wrongs here, let's really start righting some wrongs where we're not afraid to look in certain recesses of the country. Where before you're worried, man, let the natives stay how they are. Don't rile them up. Let's keep that guy in jail, and that way they won't burn my city. And now it's like, no. We're going to look at everything. We don't think this was right. Let's dig into it. Let's dig in and find out if this jury was biased. Were they afraid? Were they threatened? Because the BLM people said they're going to do this and do that if you don't do what they tell you. Remember that couple in St. Louis where they were outside holding a gun as the mob started coming, and then they arrested them for protecting their own property? That's over. We're not doing that anymore. Not going to do that anymore. And I'm not looking to go back and cause any racial strife. I'm just saying you're not going to push your BLM down our throat. And you know who's next. And they know they're next. Because once we dismantle this BLM crap, that 17-letter MSSIPPI, those people with the flags, you're next. We're Americans. We're done playing your costume games. We're done with BLM. And now you guys need to understand MAGA is not a bad word. And we're no longer going to acquiesce. We're not going to give. We're done giving. We're done shunning. It's been chilly here. Guess what? Get to wear the MAGA hoodie. I cannot believe how many of you sign up to want to win a free hoodie. I can't even... Do you know how many people have signed up for a free hoodie? Oh my God. And I'm like, Ashley, you okay keeping up with this? She's like, we got to pause today because we have to make a reorder because they're going like this. People are no longer cowering. We're over the BS. We're Americans. We're proud Americans. And if you don't like it, it's your problem. You go hide. You go find some corner of the sewer to pretend like you're still holding the flag of Marxism. Nah, we're not. We're not hiding.
They were on the scene of George Floyd's overdose. Derek Chauvin, in my opinion, needs to be released. But at the very least, these 3 other officers, one of them who's half black, one of them who's Asian, they were all caught up in this overzealous Black Lives Matter, racial idolatry, let's kill Whitey, let's convict Whitey of everything, let's pretend that Whitey and the police are just out randomly killing black people. We got people sitting in prison, lives destroyed over this BLM hoax.
And it was a hoax. Make no mistake. One of my nieces got hooked up into this. I'm like, what are you doing? You ain't from the hood. you went to Harvard, which was probably worse than the hood. My niece graduated from, no, I'm sorry, not Harvard, Columbia. She graduated from Columbia, a black woman who went to an Ivy League school and got stupid. And I'm like, talk to my sister, her mom. I'm like, you okay with this? What is she doing? She went to college and literally, like Michael Corleone or Sonny Corleone said, you went to college and got stupid. This was the same young woman who, when Robin and I lived in Hallandale on the 45th floor of an oceanfront condo, she walked into our condo and was like, oh my God, how do I get something like this? You're doing it, girl. You're in school. You're in Ivy League. You're going to have this and more. It's all available for you. And then the next time I see her, fight the power. I'm like, you are the power, you moron. you are what you're trying to fight. Your grandfather did everything so that your mom, could have what's needed so you could go to Columbia, moron. These kids got twisted. They didn't understand. They thought that was the way. And then, just like my niece, she's like, I'm not doing this anymore. Luckily, this was a couple years ago. She's like, I'm not doing this. Why? What all of a sudden changed? Because you realized everything they were saying was full of it, and sooner enough, they were going to find out what your background was, and they were going to come for you. Fight the power. You are the power. That was the funniest thing ever. We're going to fight the power. We're going to fight the man. You are the man. You understand, looking at your skin, there's something about our skin that should tell you, you are the power. You're fighting yourself. You got a white grandfather. Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't know that, did you? Mom, was my great-grandfather white? Yep. 2 of them. 2 great-grandfathers were white men. You don't get this pigmentation for nothing. There's some milk in this coffee. And so when you were going to these meetings, you have to understand that people were probably looking at you going, girl, you don't look like the rest of us. You had to realize. So I'm getting texted by SV, so something must be happening, because he always texts me during the show. I love it. Here it says, White House, ooh, another. Biden just dropped another $50 billion to Ukraine. They're emptying the coffers, man. They're just emptying the coffers right now. $50 billion more to Ukraine. Good God. Let's continue.
And mass psychosis that we've been under. And Daniel Penny and his not guilty verdict and that diverse jury pool in New York, in a very liberal city, in a very liberal state, did the right thing. It is a signal that sanity is returning to America and the whole Black Lives Matter movement is over.
So true. It's absolutely true. It's dead, gone, finito. And that's the same thing I'm telling you right now. That's the same thing that's going to happen with the abortion movement. Because right now you could be screaming and wailing and shaving your head because you're 19, 20, 21. And then 4 years from now, when 2028 is upon us, and you're a 25, 26-year-old woman, unless you were just stuck in a time warp, that shit's not going to matter to you as much anymore. Hopefully you'll grow and you'll have a life. And then you'll realize, that's really not that important. Guess what? It's not that important right now. Oh yeah, we talked to Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen. They're like, it's not that big of a deal. That's why it didn't move the needle. It was a small segmentation. So it was almost like they built their house, the Democrat house, with paper bricks. Because they used the brick of abortion, they used the brick of Transformers, and they used the brick of LGBTQ, which were nothing. Nobody cares. You know why? Because gay people and Transformers, they got to eat and buy gas too. Oh yeah. Did they not realize that? Did they not realize that the gays and the Transformers got to eat and go places? And so many of them may have been in the street or at the meeting going, yeah, we're not going to vote for him. But, ooh, yeah, I can't afford to keep coming to these meetings. Oh, what do I do? Oh my goodness. Yeah, God bless you all. God bless you too. Pardon for the Three Stooges. He might, but he just gave away another $60 billion. BLM, a hoax they all did was destroy the cities. And one of those cities was Tim Walz's state, Minnesota. Why can't Congress stop this money to Ukraine? It's a good question. Good question. Wish I had the answer. Wish I had the answer. Oh, you're laughing at my milk in the coffee comment. Well, it's true. Y'all all know. You all know for sure. You can look at me. You can look at a guy like Dan Bongino, and then you can look at some other people and go, "Oh, there's something different here about you, black people." Yeah, there's a little something different. We are part of the same melting pot, so whatever. All right, so let's move on to the next part of this video. What's he saying here? Did I go backwards? Did I go forward? Hold on.
Over.
All right, Jason.
Now, last month, our friend, former Fox colleague Pete Hegseth was chosen by President-elect Donald Trump to be his defense secretary. Now, since President Trump's announcement, Pete has faced, the predictable slew of allegations about pretty much everything, a personal relationship in which he was fully investigated, exonerated, and his time in the military. And he might have had a drink or two too much on occasion. Pete has been on Capitol Hill meeting with lawmakers, discussing his upcoming confirmation hearings. Today, Pete had his second meeting with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. After the meeting, Senator Ernst said she looks forward to supporting Pete through this process. Pete Hegseth joins us now with more. Sir, welcome back. Great to have you.
Hey, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about. Let me just tell you, don't trust Joni Ernst. Don't trust her. Notice what she said in her statement. Everybody thought yesterday, she's supporting Pete Hegseth. No, she's trying to buy time. She's hedging her bets here. Her exact words were, "I'm supporting the process." She didn't say, "I'm supporting Pete Hegseth." I'm supporting the process. She's giving herself an out in case she doesn't want to do what she's supposed to do. So whatever you do, keep pounding her.
The meeting with Joni Ernst today.
Absolutely. Sean, it was a great meeting. People don't really know this. I've known Senator Ernst for over 10 years. I knew her when she was a state senator running to be the first female combat veteran, and we supported her in that effort and have continued to, because you get into these meetings and you get to listen to senators as an amazing advice and consent process, and you hear how thoughtful, serious, substantive they are on these key issues as they pertain to our Defense Department. And Joni Ernst is front and center on that. So able to have phone calls and meetings time and time again to talk over the issues is really, really important. And the fact that she's willing to support me through this process means a lot. And I also want an opportunity here to clarify comments that have been misconstrued that I somehow don't support women in the military. Some of our greatest warriors, our best warriors out there, are women who serve, raise their right hand to defend this country and love our nation, want to defend that flag, and they do it every single day around the globe. So I'm not presuming anything, but after President Trump asked me to be his Secretary of Defense, should I get the opportunity to do that, I look forward to being a secretary for all our warriors, men and women, for the amazing contributions they make in our military.
All right, so I was going to go into this Pete thing, but as I'm looking, I'm seeing some information that's pissing me off. And so I mentioned to you that there was another gazillion-dollar pledge that they went and gave to Ukraine. But you're not going to believe what they did. Y'all need to hear this. Let me make sure the volume's up.
The United States and G7 are now making good on that commitment. Together, we will leverage income earned from frozen Russian sovereign assets to provide a total of $50 billion of extraordinary revenue acceleration ERA loans to Ukraine. This will lend vital support to the people of Ukraine as they defend their country, and it also makes clear aggressors and tyrants will be responsible for the damage they cause.
So what they're saying here, and now you've seen it yourself, they're not giving $50 billion in military stuff. Karine Jean-Pierre announced that the U.S. and G7 would be giving out $50 billion in loans to the people of Ukraine. $50 billion in loans you just gave the Ukrainian people. Loans that they obviously will not be paying back. On top of the $700 million they gave out a couple days ago. I can't even imagine what's going on. I mean, when I read this stuff, it just doesn't make any sense how nobody can stop this. $50 billion. Every single one of you who knows somebody, maybe you don't even have to know nobody. All of you know that these people in Appalachia are hurting. Forget Appalachia, you might be hurting. You may know somebody, it's Christmas time. And they are literally giving the middle finger to America. They couldn't give us a bigger middle finger if Biden himself walked on television and flashed the bird to everybody. They are letting us know in no uncertain terms, we're stealing everything we possibly can. We're going to bankrupt this country. We don't care before we leave. And it's seemingly nobody can do anything about this. And I'm going from page to page, and I'm looking at all this stuff, and it just keeps happening. The Biden regime has announced that the U.S. and G7 will, quote, loan Ukraine $50 billion as if Ukraine will actually pay anything back. Meanwhile, they just sent another billion on top of the nearly $200 billion already sent. They may have figured out a way to hurt this country irreparably. Maybe they're saying, you know what, we're just going to send every dime that we have in the Federal Reserve or wherever over to these people. We're going to give them every dime, and so that Trump getting in, there won't be any money. Unflippin' believable. I don't know. You know, people have asked me, how are they getting away with this? I don't know. I don't know how they possibly can be getting away with this. I don't know what laws or how the laws are made or how somebody can actually do this, but they're doing it. Meanwhile, we're looking at, confirmation hearings here on potential appointees and nominees to his cabinet, and these people are just giving out money, giving out our money like it's no big deal. I'm concerned. I am very concerned at this point that what they're doing and who's getting this money. Like I said in my video yesterday, the people you see are not the people we need to be worrying about. The people who are back there, as I mentioned, in the shadows, those people in the deep state are packing their bank accounts. They are padding their bank accounts. We are paying somebody back big time. There is no doubt in somewhere in my mind there's some sort of extortion thing going on. That this amount of money, what the hell could you be covering up? Who has the blackmail stuff? What could you possibly, and how many people are having to cover so much stuff up that you're all looking the other way as they're fleecing us? And then the other thing we have to wonder is, if you had $200 billion to send over there, 200, $200 billion. Where'd that come from? Because we were told, hey, listen, we don't have any money. Where'd the $2 trillion go? I'm sick to my stomach. This is crazy. They will continue to send our money to try to destroy. I mean, at this point, I don't even know how they have that much on hand. I don't even know how they collect that much. I mean, I'd love Trump to come in on 20th and just give a freeze. No more income tax taken out of anybody's check until further notice. Obviously, and I think all of you see it at this point. I think the world sees it. If you can just keep sending tens and billions of dollars over there, $200 billion, you don't need our money. You've proven it. You don't need what little Johnny, who's a mechanic at some garage, and you need to take the $87 a week out of his paycheck. Missy, who's a waitress at Denny's, you need to take the money off of her tips. But you have no problem sending this guy a gazillion dollars? To me, that's a unifying issue. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, red, gay, transformer. You have to be halfway crazy if you're okay with that. And I know that they did that to many, many Democrats. So yeah, let's keep, gotta keep sending them money. They put it in their bios. They put the little flags in their X bios. I'm thinking, what kind of stupid are you? Think about it. I know what kind of stupid. You're the one who doesn't pay any taxes. You're the idiot on that other, group of people who don't pay in. And so it's easy for you to say, keep sending money to these people because you don't put anything in the pot. Everybody else has to put in. You don't put in. So you don't care if they take it from everybody else. You're a leech. Yeah, your children's children are already in debt. Yeah. We are the government slaves. We're seeing it. We are definitely seeing it. I don't know. I know many of you aren't capable of not paying taxes. Not capable of not paying taxes because your employer takes it right out. You don't even see it. Oop, it's gone before you even get your check. But at some point, I think people who aren't subject to that have to begin thinking, hey man, I'm done. I'm so done working 4 or 5 months just for you to take the money and send it over there. Done. Absolutely done. Listen to what Steve Bannon had to say right here.
We dare you to give the pardons. We dare you. Biden, get them all. Get your family. In fact, on top of it, throw the pardons out for the illegal aliens, the 10 million. Pardon them all. We dare you. Do it. Because in the very act of that, the Democrats become the Whigs, the last major party that went away.
You've heard me say that. I heard him say that. I'm like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. Perhaps what we're seeing with all this money just being tossed aside is just that. Maybe they see the same thing I see. Maybe they actually can see that it's over. The Democrat Party as a functioning body can't do it. Okay, let's see. SV just sent me something else. Oh, you got to send me the link to that one. Oh man, you got to send this to me because I got SV. Tell me the link on this one because I show people this, you guys are gonna lose it. Oh, let me see if I can find it real quick. Oh, this is too much. If I can find this, you guys will absolutely lose it. Because this is now we're getting to the point where you gotta question. This is the end for the Democrats. Yeah, I found it. Okay. Thanks, SV. Let me see if I can download this video real quick. I'm pretty good at getting this stuff done. Oh, I cannot believe what I'm seeing here. people, it's going to piss you off, and it's going... This is absolutely nuts. All right, so our country, at this point, these people realize they've got nothing left. Nothing. And so they're going for broke. They are going for broke. You're not going to believe this. Let me go ahead and set it up first so you can see it, and then you'll be able to hear it. You ready for this? All right. Breaking. Democrats in Congress now urge Biden to commute the sentences for every convict on death row, citing racism. They want every convict on death row to be pardoned. Only thing I could say is, I beg your pardon? What? Every convict on death row should be pardoned because race. So you just want the purge. You just want escape from New York right now. You just want to do what Trump said Venezuela did. You agree with it. Let them all out. Let me play the video because it's even worse.
Today, on Human Rights Day, we call on President Biden to do the right thing, to use his clemency authority, to commute the death sentences of the 40 individuals on death row, to resentence them to a prison term, and to save lives. State-sanctioned murder is not justice. And the death penalty is a cruel, racist, and fundamentally flawed punishment that has no place in our society. It is deeply discriminatory and has disproportionately been weaponized against black, brown, and low-income families for far too long. It is long past time for President Biden to make good on his campaign promise to address the federal death penalty. With 40 days left in his presidency, we must move with urgency and ensure that history never repeats itself.
The only history that I don't want to repeat itself at this point is for you people to ever be in office ever again. That's the history we need to work on. Somebody needs to begin cataloging all this insanity and understand we can never let you people be in office again. These have to be the agonal breaths of nuts. Done. I think they see that. They're going all in at this point on everything crazy because they know they're done. That's exactly what I've been saying. This political party will not win another major election for quite some time. They're toast. They're stupid. Wow. It's racist. Everything. These people are nuts. Oh, with that, let's get into the 10.
Here's the big finish. 10 stories that you just gotta hear. Number 10.
If we spent money...
You're going to love this one. You need to listen closely to what this man says, Dan Goldman in Congress.
On our revamping legislatively our asylum system and spent the money that will be spent on mass deportations to actually get at the root cause of the migration by spending that money on immigration judges and on a system that can quickly evaluate asylum claims, we won't have to have a witness here telling us that fentanyl is a problem. We all know fentanyl is a problem. And in fact, we all know that the drug cartels control the border.
You heard what he said, right? So, Congressman Goldman, you all know that the cartels control the border. You just said that in an open hearing. Well, we all know that cartels control the border. So the cartels dictate what we should be doing here in America. You feckless, useless piece of crap.
Number 9.
I want to address the issue that's in the headlines right now. I stand in full support and wholeheartedly agree with the statements that President Trump has made over these last few days with regards to the developments in Syria. My own views and experiences have been shaped by my multiple deployments and seeing firsthand the cost of war and the threat of Islamist terrorism. It's one of the many reasons why I appreciate President Trump's leadership and his election, where he is fully committed, as he has said over and over, to bringing about an end to wars, demonstrating peace through strength, and putting the national security interests and the safety, security, and freedom of the American people first and foremost.
Seems like there should be a lot of people apologizing to Tulsi Gabbard right about now. You know, with everything that's going on in Syria. And by the way, be careful of the videos that you may come across showing some stuff in Syria. These animals who are doing things to people that should never be done to people just because they don't agree with you. That's it. That's the crime. You don't do what we tell you. We need to do stuff in a very public fashion. They're animals. Then you have to say to yourself, who funded those people?
Number 8. I remember earlier this year, January, I was doing exactly what you just did, Anna. I was talking to my activist friends in Chicago, like my homie Zoe, and she was going to city council meetings every week, complaining about what was happening. And it wasn't even just about the fact that, you know, the migrants were coming over. She was just complaining that they're getting more resources than we are.
No refunds, bro. See, here's the problem with the left. Now, after she got butt stomped in November, all these people are coming out, hey man, I saw it. I knew this was happening. People were telling me it was happening. Nobody wanted to listen, but you weren't saying that. You got a big audience, Charlemagne. You have a huge audience. Why weren't you calling out the Democrats then?
Had a guy, he works in a parking garage in New York. He saw me one day and he came to me in tears, talking to me about how, you know, there were gangs that were coming over, you know, tearing up his neighborhood. And he was saying he knows it's because the border needs to be closed. This is a black woman I'm talking about and a Spanish man. These people were not MAGA in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. They were just talking to people about what was going on in their communities. In New York City, Mayor Adams let a bunch of migrants stay in a school overnight and made the kids that went to the school do homeschooling that day.
Was any of this a secret? No. It played out right in front of us. We watched them do it. So you have to wonder with people like Stephen A. Smith, Charlemagne the God, well, the little G God, what were you all thinking? Did your butter your bread need to be buttered that bad? You took the coin instead of standing up like a man with what you saw, what your audience saw, what people were saying. They told you, hey man, this is bad. You got a big audience. Can you make this stop? My son can't go to basketball practice anymore. The entire gym is filled with these newcomers. But you shut up. And you now on December 10th, you're talking. You're telling people they didn't want to listen. Well, you had a microphone. It sits right in front of you every morning. Why didn't you say it?
Because he needed to give the migrants housing for the night. People were calling into the radio station complaining about that. So when I get on the air and I say that, or if I'm in an interview with, I think at the time I was doing an interview with Fox News, and they asked me a simple question: do I think the border is going to play an issue come November? I told them everything I just told y'all. Next thing I know, MSNBC has a headline that says Charlemagne the God is spreading MAGA messaging. That is not MAGA messaging, and that is the Democrats dismissing what their base was actually telling them, because they already had labeled the issue of the border a Republican MAGA issue, and it wasn't. It was an American issue, and it was people in their party, people in their base, or used to be in their base, complaining about it, and they didn't listen.
So I have to just follow up.
See, this is where the problem is for people like Stephen A. Smith, Charlemagne the Little God. You don't understand. They brainwashed you. They brainwashed you into thinking that MAGA was bad. That's where your problem is. When MSNBC tried to turn on you and they said you were spewing MAGA messaging, your words, Your answer should have been, yeah, I am. I believe in America. I believe in making America great again. So if you want to think it's some sort of denigration to say that I'm putting out MAGA messaging, what's wrong with that? Until the Democrat Party and Democrats in general can realize that MAGA is not a stain. That's the problem. You keep thinking that MAGA is a stain. It's a big old red M on your chest. Oh no, you're MAGA. We're all MAGA. And you still have time. You still have time to understand that and say, listen, my audience that pays me a whole bunch of money every morning when I'm on the Breakfast Club, they're Americans. They are the reason why you are on the radio, why you make millions. That's the reason. These people look to you, and you sold them out. You completely sold them out. You said that the phone lines would light up every day, but you didn't put those people on the show. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't get a chance to take your call today. Why? Why did you sell your audience out? You're going to have to look yourself in the mirror one day. Bunch of you Democrats. Stephen A. Smith, I keep saying it. You sold people out because you were afraid. There is no other definition. You were afraid of alienating somebody. Because your audience, you just said, they were calling you. Hey man, little Fred here can't go play basketball. It's full of newcomers. They were complaining to you, hoping you would take up their plight and say something. But you stayed quiet. And now you're going to have to deal with it.
7. In addition to weakening our military, it would cost hundreds of billions of dollars to deport every undocumented immigrant in our country.
Hundreds of billions. Wow, we spent that over there. It's funny. To get rid of, do mass deportations, you guys are making up a number saying it would cost hundreds of billions. Well, we've already seen you spend it. And we're not getting anything for it. Think about that. This guy just said it would cost us hundreds of billions to get rid of all these newcomers, which we would actually see a benefit from. But you had no problem sending hundreds of billions to that country over there where we have no benefit.
It would damage our economy and separate American families. Instead, we should focus on deporting those who are truly a danger to America. And we should give the rest a chance to earn legal status.
Numbers. Yeah, he said that. He with a straight face, he read, we can go ahead and deport the ones, but let's make all the rest legal. They hate you. 6.
Joni Ernst of Iowa. Last week, she was hesitant to support the former Fox News host who has been accused of sexual assault, abusing alcohol, and financial mismanagement of 2 nonprofits dedicated to veterans, all of which he denies. But yesterday, Senator Ernst had a different tone about Hegseth, releasing a statement praising him for his responsiveness and respect for the process and calling their conversations encouraging. Here's what she had to say about the meeting when pressed by reporters.
Does that say you're supporting him?
So I am supporting him through this process, and I'll just refer you back to the statement.
You hear what she said there, right? I want you to hear it from her mouth. I am supporting him through the process, is what she said.
Yes, vote on the floor. Change your mind.
It was a very productive meeting, though. I think we're just moving through the process. But he does respect that I'm taking the time.
Did you talk about the allegations?
Thank you, guys.
Did you talk about the allegations as well, Senator?
Thank you, guys. I'll refer back to my statement.
Did he commit? He's just supporting the process. It doesn't sound like you're a yes yet. Is that fair?
I am supporting the process.
Did he commit to keeping women in their current roles in the military?
He is very supportive of women in the military. It is one thing that we discussed.
So he's changed his position? He's changed his position on that?
So you heard what she said. She said, I'm supporting the process a couple of times. She did not say, I support Pete. She said, I support the process. she chose her words very carefully, but it's not enough for these nuts.
Self, John, when you're being chased by reporters on the Senate side of Capitol Hill, do not take the freight elevator.
Take the stairs. Because that elevator door, you can see the aide growing panicked about why. Trying to hit the door closed
but they kept getting in the...
I think the reporter had a hand in, I think. That's a pro tip. Pro tip. Is that a pro tip on that side of the Capitol?
It's a joke to these people. And everybody who's involved in this process, they're a joke as well. And that's all they're going to keep doing. So they continued talking about it here.
What's your read with Joni Ernst and also those Republicans that are still hard-nosed but aren't saying anything?
So there are the Republicans that are hard-nosed that you guys are referring to, and you're right that the unofficial whip count stands at about 6. But there are plenty of Republicans, including in the president-elect's orbit, who are hoping that it's not the gravity you're talking about, but instead the gravity we talk about in Wicked, where he'll be defying gravity. And I'm sorry for the pun, but we've got a lot of time still to go on.
Lady, you're too stuck in your bubble in New York City. Actually, you're in Washington, D.C. You're using a metaphor for a movie nobody's going to go see. You're telling us your wokeness just by the metaphor you decided to use. Most of the people who are watching this video went, what the hell is she talking about? What? Woke, wickness, wicked, what? Exactly.
On this kind of a confirmation battle. It's early in the process, and I think that's either going to work in Hegseth's favor because he'll be able to continue to have these kinds of meetings that go from productive and frank, is how I think Ernst was initially describing the tone of their conversations last week, to now she's supporting him through the process. And Lemire and I were talking about this on Way Too Early. The idea that she's had a clear tone shift is notable. The way that she's talking about in that last answer, how she didn't say anything about Hegseth committing to keep women in their current roles in the military, specifically that reporter trying to get at the idea of combat. Instead, Joni Ernst just said he's very supportive of women in the military. She said it's one thing we talked about. Clearly, he was not always in that stance. I mean, I don't think we should let anyone rewrite history, but it does give us a good sense of the way that Hegseth is trying to at least soften the image that he came into Capitol Hill with. And as much as I think we're seeing Ernst say she's supportive of the process, that's not saying I'm supportive of the man, at least not yet. It's saying I'll let him continue doing these meetings. I'm not going to be the next person, or at least the first person, to publicly tank the nomination. And I think that's important, just giving him the space, and they'll see where it ends up. But that confirmation hearing is going to be bruising and brutal.
Isn't it funny? And Andy said the same thing. Those eyes, they always have bug eyes. I don't know what it is with these people, but they always have lots of big bug eyes. It's crazy. But even she picked up on it. Even she picked up on it that Joni Ernst was playing games with words by saying, I support the process. So that means you got to get back on Twitter, X. Got to get back on the phone. Start pounding her. She's playing games. She's playing games. Man, sickening.
Number 4.
Again, though, with Trump, there's this language that is dangerous just as a rhetorical device. To say of Christopher Wray, quote, he invaded my home, I'm suing the country over it, he invaded Mar-a-Lago. That's not what happened. The FBI...
Okay, so let me ask you. If armed men come in and basically kick down your door, are they not invading your home? I mean, serious. Or put it this way. If armed men came based upon an order somebody gave, are they not invading your home? Of course they are. But she sounds even stupider here. Listen to this.
I went to Trump privately a dozen times to try to regain control of national defense information, state secrets, including nuclear secrets. The country decided that that's the guy that will have them again. But at the time that the FBI was trying to repossess them, he didn't have a right to have those materials.
But you didn't say anything why you needed to, quote, invade his home. You explained your idea of the process, but you didn't explain away the need to come with military armed guys down to Mar-a-Lago.
Accused Christopher Wray of, again, quote, invading my home is a dangerous lie.
These people throw around the word dangerous like candy. How come everything is so dangerous? Well, I guess we won't have to worry about that now, though, because Christopher Wray's gone. He's going to resign. Thank God. He's done. Don't have to listen to your crap anymore.
Number 3.
My point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic, it's not changing a tune. It's not making every single thing a 5-alarm fire.
Yeah.
If he does good, if he gets the Israeli hostages out, I promise I will wear a MAGA hat for one day on the show and say, thank you for doing it. Yeah. She'll knock it right off my head. But like, you have to be able to cheer for wins when they happen and then call out relentlessly the wrongdoing.
All right, so pray for her and help her get her resume out, because she sounded too realistic. She sounded too sane to even be on that show. Hey, listen, we need to call out wins when they're wins. Don't wear that hat here. Oh, no. They don't even want you acknowledging Trump having any success. So she won't be there too long. But then again, the show probably won't be there too long either.
Number 2.
To end birthright citizenship. He talked about doing this in his first term. Obviously, he can't unilaterally do this, given it's changing the Constitution and it's the 14th Amendment. But as a naturalized citizen, I wonder...
Really? You see, here's another little talking head girly who, again, just like with Kristen Welker, tried to say that the Constitution just allows it. And she's not intelligent enough to realize that, once again, they left out an entire clause in that birthright thing. I've showed it a couple times here. I don't need to show it again. I'm just showing you right now how the media is trying to just blanket it over like, no, this is just, oh, this is it. Anyone born here is a citizen, period. And that's not true. But what's worse about this is this the person you think you should be bringing on to basically defend birthright citizenship? The woman who married her brother?
How you view of Trump, what your view of Trump's effort to try to get rid of that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cornerstone to who we are as Americans. You know,
What's this we stuff?
I vividly remember when we got wind of the fact.
I'm sorry, she drives me crazy.
That we would get resettlement to the United States in that refugee camp in Mombasa, Kenya. My grandfather saying, you know, we're not going to accept resettlement in any other countries. We want to go to America. Because he said America is where eventually everyone becomes an American. And I think that.
Oh, we're in trouble. We are in trouble if we don't get all this stuff fixed.
Is one of the reasons that we remain to be a beacon of hope. We think of ourselves as a nation of immigrants. Everyone, unless you are Native American or you came on a slave ship,
we all consider ourselves a nation of immigrants. You left the word out. You always leave the word out. We consider ourselves a nation of legal immigrants. You see, they make no discernment. It's like everyone's here as an immigrant. No. My father came through the front door, had to do a bunch of different things. Many of you, your relatives, had to come through the front door. But they don't even want any front door. They just want to let them crawl through the window, let them dig in the basement, whatever, how they ever get here. Just get here. Scum.
Number 1.
Meanwhile, someone over on Neely's side, he's sort of describing him as the victim. He wasn't the victim. He was the aggressor. He was the criminal on that subway car that day who was seriously threatening other passengers. He had a long history of hurting them. And somebody on his side yelled out in the courtroom, "It's a racist country. Hello, madam or sir, that's not working anymore. You're going to have to find a new line." I don't know what it's going to be. But But the BLM era is officially over. It's over. You had us in some sort of weird, psychotic headspin for 4 or 5 years, and it's done. Trump's reelected, and Daniel Penny is acquitted in one of the most leftist jurisdictions in America, despite the fact that he is white and Jordan Neely was black. And they're still yelling, "It's a racist country, you fools. You absolute fools." And by the way, it's not just someone over on Jordan Neely's side. We had news coming into today that the outgoing chair of the DNC said his party is insane if they think the message of this election was to rethink identity politics. Double down, sir. Triple down. Quadruple. Do it. Enjoy oblivion. Enjoy your desert island where you have no one applauding anything you say and certainly no one voting for you. I look forward to watching you there.
I love the fact that a blonde, white woman now feels comfortable taking on the BLM BS. I wanted you to see that because no matter what you are, whether you're black, Chinese, Puerto Rican, white, at this point, you can call balls and strikes as you see them. You no longer have to worry about, I don't want to offend them. I don't want them to be upset. They might say I'm a racist. F them. F them. They want to call you a name? Deal with it. It's over. Don't let these people have any harbor whatsoever. Don't even let them have someone says, "Hey, well, you're a racist white person." So, there's no comeback. Don't be afraid of being labeled anymore. They wanted us to be labeled. They changed. Xenophobic, homophobic, apophobic, blah, blah, blah. Everything was a phobic. Everything was racist. Not anymore. You can say whatever you want. You're not changing my mind. I know how I feel. I'm not ashamed of how I feel. And I'm a good person. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I'm living a good life. I'm paying my taxes that you're squandering. And I'm not going to back down anymore. Tell them, like Megan just said, good luck with oblivion. We're not going to do this stuff anymore. We are done. The games have been played. Call me whatever you want. You know what? When I go home, I got a loving wife. I have a loving daughter. I got grandkids. I got 2 dogs now. I don't care what you say. You can't hurt me. You can put up a sign. I don't care. Barry's racist. Don't care. You no longer affect the people I want to be around. So, go ahead. Sure. Call people names. I don't care. You know what's funny? I've been married to Robin for 31 going on 32 years. And as you've seen, she's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman. Do you realize in the 32 years I've been married to her, I have had more black people cause us problems than white people? You probably you probably can't even comprehend that. What do you mean? Oh yeah. I remember way back when we were just getting married and I was studly and she's still hot, but she was hot then too. And we walked through a grocery store and I got this. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Oh, so that's how you are? I looked at Robin and I looked at her and went, yeah, that's exactly how I am. You got that right. Oh yeah, let me look again. Yeah, you got that right. That's exactly how I am. Now bring my shit up. Oh, sorry. Don't let that. I want that again. I want that kind of attitude where if somebody looks at me wrong, I'm like, what you looking at? You got a problem? Here's my red. I'm MAGA. I don't care. That's how you need to be. That's it. Now I understand some of you aren't 6'2" and 300 pounds, so you got to be careful with some of these nuts. But other than that, if it's not a physical thing, tell these people, kiss your behind. I don't care what you think. I no longer am going to give you any room in my mind. That's it. You're done. I don't have any room up here for you. You're meaningless. I mean, I think of you as a person. I am God-fearing, so I wish nothing but the best for you. But in terms of your ideology, I can't give you the middle finger because it won't let me, but how about if I give you a couple stubs? How's that work for you, huh? You can interpret that. I won't give you the middle finger in public. But if I hold it down, you know what it means. I can't do that kind of stuff in public. I can't. I made a promise to Robin I won't do that. But you guys know what I mean. Yeah. Absolutely. Give zero. Nothing to them. Yes, they realize they have nothing left but they're robbing us blind. Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. Absolutely doing it. Let's see here. I don't give F what people think of me. I hope all is well tonight. Appreciate. Oh, wait, where was that? Consider the source. End of story. Exactly. People who act like that don't deserve your empathy. I mean, I feel bad that the guy got choked out and died on the subway, but at the same time, I wasn't there, and if I had saw him approaching, innocent people, I would have probably acted. I think that this is going to cause a problem that they didn't expect. I think we're about to see a mass reality of don't FA, then you won't find out. It should be that simple. We lived through it down here in South Florida. Like I mentioned many times, probably some of you guys in Texas, don't think about doing something dumb. Some people need to retreat, from what I understand. There's certain laws in certain states that said you have to retreat. No. Nope. Nah. Take you out. Exactly. I love how you love Robert. I always edify her. Yeah. That's my baby. Absolutely. I am 5'2" and I've never bowed down to anyone. Where'd that go? Okay. I stick to my beliefs and I give zero what anyone thinks of me. And now we're at a point where you know what they think of you. But they've thought of you. Now you realize it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that goes for both sides at this point. You do understand that. I mean, there was a post today that I had put up, and it really bothered me because I don't have any patience for people like this. None. So you see these people. I said, dude, you should ask his wife, his boyfriend, whatever. But Andy McCarthy, he's on Fox all the time, and he's like, Trump should swear off lawfare. Defeat them, don't become them. And I love what this one guy said. If I give the bully my lunch money, he'll stop stuffing me in the locker. The entire National Review editorial team. We're done. You picked the fight. As Sylvester Stallone said in the movie, you drew first blood. You go ahead and sit in the corner and say, we don't need to hit them back. No. They drew first blood. They decided they wanted to play this game. And all you need to think, and really think is, and it should wake you up, if they were on the other foot, or if the shoe was on the other foot, as the saying goes, what do you think they'd be getting ready to do to you on January 20th? I'm pretty sure I'd be gone. I'm pretty sure Rumble would be gone. I'm pretty sure most of the people on Facebook would be I'm sure Elon Musk would be gone. Twitter would be gone. They were coming for us. Make no mistake. Don't doubt that at all. They were coming for us. First, they were going to take away our free speech. Then they were going to take away our money. Then they were going to go to central digital bank currency and you would never be able to spend what you want to spend. They had it all lined up. This is what they were going to do. Remember what she kept saying, we all didn't start off at the same place, but we all need to, end up at the same place because equity, and we need to be. Hey, Susie doesn't have, you got too much, we're going to put it over here now. No, they weren't going to think about you. They didn't care about you. They were going to come for you. They were going to come hard for you. The shoe was on the other foot, we'd be toast. Absolute toast. Wow. I'm 5'1", and I come from a moody family of redheads. Need I say more? Nope. I got you. I tell people, I tell people, if you step on my feet, on my toes, I won't stop the heck out of yours. Absolutely. Unreal how people think at this point. And I don't want people to be vigilantes. I hope people don't band together and say, hey, let's go hunting. No, that's not right either. But if you see something and you're capable and something like that's happening, I think at this point we all have to. You guys want some fun one night over the holidays? Go look up some of Sheriff Brady or Sheriff Grady on the west coast of Florida and see some of the stuff that man has told people. Don't come here. Nope, don't come here and do stuff because I'm telling everybody and giving them permission to take you out. And so, everybody knows if you're in that part of Florida, understand the sheriff has said, do what you got to do. The sheriff. And he means it. He posted it on YouTube. It's everywhere. All right. Let me just wrap up here because we got a 7:30 show and I got to walk the dog. She came and got the dog so we can feed him. All right. So here we go. If you guys want to join our free X group, go to fanfareshop.org/group and join nearly almost at 12,000 fellow patriots. Let me just go ahead and give you the sign up for the hoodies. And you can go here to fanfareshop.org and you can enter to win. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to hold off. Well, I could probably give them away, but I'm going to tell you it's probably going to take an extra week or so because Ashley's ordering some more tonight or today, so it may take 7 to 10 days. So I can do that, long as you guys who win understand we're going to be backlogged. She just gave out a whole bunch, just shipped out a whole bunch today. Those of you also who are waiting for gold and silver, we finally got the approval. Those are going to be going out next week as well. So we're all good there. And with that, let me go ahead and look at some super chats here. KRO, how you doing, buddy? They openly support censorship. Yep, they would have gotten us. D-Lad, the USA is a nation of settlers, creators of a new society, not merely immigrants. Assimilating, big word, into an existing one. We're not a nation of immigrants. You're absolutely right. Assimilation is a big one. Hey, Joy. Barry, I love you and the Fanfare family. I know you're just doing your job, but today I feel sick and angry. These people are crazy. I want to scream. Every once in a while, it's okay to scream. And every once in a while, it is okay to be angry. I am never going to tell you, hey, chill it, don't be angry. Now, sometimes we need to be righteously angry. They are nuts. And just be educated and understand these people don't want what's best for us. They don't care about us, and at this point, it's obvious, they're up to no good. But other than that, God's here, and Christmas is just a few weeks away. And we love having you here. Ronald Zimmerman, I can't wait until President Trump gets sworn in. And we got to get him there, that's for sure. Michael Guthrie, you said it plenty of times before, Barry, regarding Joni Ernst. If somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Yeah, I think she's setting him up. Good show today. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you as well, Big Cat. Donna, Zelensky will never have a relationship with the U.S. after January 20th. If they get in trouble, tough poop. Russia will own them in the end, as will we. I'm just wondering how much of the money Trump will be able to claw back. Because at that point, he's going to have to negotiate with Trump. So you imagine this negotiation. You got Vlad over there saying, we're about to turn you guys into a dust bowl. We're going to tear you apart. And Trump says, I can probably get Vlad not to just erase your country, but here's what it's going to cost you. How much? How much would it cost me, Donald? About $190 billion. Give it back. Give every dime back. Oh, I only have 120 billion. You're like, okay, all right, give us back what you got. I'll go talk to Vlad. What's this one? Mary Lou, Danny, or Mary Lou, the Dems are definitely all nuts. I mean, really, they need to get over themselves. They've talked themselves into a frenzy. At this point, I saw an interview with a lawyer who worked with Trump. Ashley's trying to get him for an interview. And he said that he believes that nearly 50% of the Democrats in the United States Congress are there illegally, meaning they didn't get the votes. And I thought it was nuts when I heard that. I'm like, maybe? Audra Swink, thank you very for keeping us sane. Oh, thank you for watching. What's to say? True, if you deposit more than $10,000 in your bank account, it has to have a paper trail. Yep, buying a house will have a time frame. Absolutely. So why doesn't our government follow that? Hey, Gray Man, thank you very, very much. Buy some Bibles. God bless you, your family, and the entire family. Could you do a show on debauchery of FEMA in Western North Carolina? Actually, Ashley is setting up. It was my fault because I needed to get my computer set up to take in like 2 or 3 guests at a time. And she's got some people up in Western North Carolina that we will be talking about. Thank you, Ronald Zimmerman, Danny or Mary Lou. The money should be allocated to the disaster relief. Absolutely. I believe that. We're going to spend it anyway, so we might as well get it back from Zelensky. Acid burns. They say blocked roads when Trump takes office. They say blocked roads? Okay. TL, DJT should sell Ukraine's loans to Russia. That would be awesome. That would be, if they owe Vlad. Jenny, go after their pockets. That'll get their attention. Come April 15, Americans should take a stand. And, it's unfortunate that the way things are set up, many people don't have the ability to. They just take it out of your paycheck. You never even see it. Tay just cashed in $2 billion from Aristor. Give $197 million in bonus. How much would she pay in unrealized gains? Oh, yeah, that's a lot. Jason Price. What if Trump has us file bankruptcy and tell the rest of the world to stick it over the Biden administration? But we need the money. We're in a bad way. Max says, Biden's corruption on display. This is part of the 2014 Hunter-Burisma agreement. But see, it's not for an instance that I think Biden is doing it. Somebody behind Biden is doing this. This is who we need to find out who they are. Dana Wright, I guess Ukraine will need no future help from the U.S. to rebuild. Nope. Not a dime. Wouldn't give them anything. Tell them we gave out the office already. Nope, ain't going to happen. Let me see what we got. That's $50 billion. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Michelle in Michigan. Bongino is Irish and Italian, not black. Okay. That's what I'm saying. The pigmentation has just been owned by a certain group. Acid burn. I worked with my father over 45 years, lost over 1,000 acres to a stepmother, married 2 years to my dad. She baptized him, 38-degree river. 3 days later, he died. Wow. Wow. Sorry to hear that. Lynn Gobmeyer. If Ray quits, does he get his pension? If so, then fire him. That's why he's quitting right before the inauguration. Good pickup. Good pickup there. See, I'm not going to wait until afterwards and get fired and all this other stuff. I'm going to quit the day before he gets here, and then I'm good. I'm just going to go ahead and retire. Good pickup there. That's exactly what he's doing. Let me see if there's anything else here. Larry 1754. Love Elon. The future is going to be amazing. Yes, it is. Jeffrey K. Thoughts on the drones in New Jersey. So I'm going to cover that in tonight's show. So let me, 1754, who's that? Jeffrey, hold on to that to tonight, because that's a very interesting story. We're going to cover that tonight. Just another knucklehead. Good show. Elon is a good guy. We're not getting rid of humans, dude. Just let's vote her off the island. Absolutely. Jermaine Kerr, just received my third $47 check from America. What a great petition. Okay. I don't know what that is. Let me see what else we got here. Elon Musk. This is from Kid Metal 3887. It's Obama, brother. Obama's telling all those idiots what to do. Did you see the Benny video on Obama yesterday? Important stuff. Yeah, but I don't think it's Obama who's orchestrating. He may be being told what to say, but somebody behind the scenes is telling him what to do. Sandra JG, Max of Source, filthy money. Yeah, I can't believe how that guy is not in jail, but he isn't. All right, so time for me to go walk the dog, have a little bit of dinner, and come back at 7:30 and hit you guys up again. Thanks for tuning in. Again, I'm about to roll the outro, and if you have any sort of problem with seizures, don't watch. Talk to you soon.